Welcome to our client onboarding process. This process is something that we've developed over a lot of years and tried to perfect. I wouldn't say that this is going to be exact for every single client that you try to close, but it does give us a framework to build off of for every client to get them to a point that works for them. So I'm going to run through the PDF, which is going to be the main thing. And the first thing we're going to touch on is the first contact pitch, which is, whether they're warm, whether they're cold, it's all pretty much the same. This just gets the conversation started so that you can introduce them to Tyson Media and our systems. So if you're in the PDF, you click this link here and it'll open up the PDF that's basically going to introduce you to our first contact pitch. And it's going to give you a chat GP version of Tyson's version, which is me. And it's actually what I do every time I'm talking to clients. I end up getting into this pitch, and it's just to basically introduce them to myself, but also the company and a little bit of our systems, just to get them, just to kind of dangle that carrot in front of them and make them interested in wanting to set up the second meeting, which is part of the client onboarding process. And if we go back real quick, you'll see the entire layout of my onboarding process. So you guys have access to this PDF. Obviously, this is the first video after the introduction. So just to cruise through it, we're going to go and we're going to have a video and a section for each of these pieces of the onboarding process. We call it the process for the first 6 months. So it basically takes you from month 1 all the way to month 6 and what will happen in those months. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this isn't going to be exact. It could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be a year. This, depending on where the company is in their growth phase, or wherever they're at financially, this is going to change, and we have to be able to adapt that. And that's what's so cool about our in-house model, is that we adapt to companies. And that's what makes it intriguing. But it all kind of falls in line of this structure. So we've got our first contact, which is the introduction, right? That's when you don't know somebody, or they've seen you on Instagram and they want to learn more. You're just reaching out. Sorry, that would be a warm lead. But if they're cold, then that's just you reaching out, cold DMing, cold emailing. This is something that I want you guys to be able to do so that you can attract people to get up this meeting, which is called the first meeting. This is the pitch, which is technically the first meeting, but this is the first actual meeting where they're interested in learning more about Tyson Media. And then we're going to open that line of communication. I think this step is the most important step, the third. We'll dive into that more. For next steps and options. So this is after you've met with them, and we're going to then introduce them into what we want to do, what we think they need based on our first meeting, because they're going to tell us, here's what we have already. We have an in-house videographer, we have an in-house editor, or they don't have any of that in-house, but they already have graphic designers and things like that. They already have social media managers. So we're going to basically give them direction depending on how that first meeting went. And then from there, we're going to go into our month 1, which is our learning phase. This is where we're going to meet with the company as many times as we need to establish what they need. And this is before they've paid us anything. And the point of that is to add as much value to the beginning of this, knowing that this could turn into a long-term relationship. It's very important that you learn as much as you can and set those expectations for them of what they can do with us. Anyway, we don't need to keep, I need to try to keep these. My biggest problem with these off the cuff, like Loom videos, is that I can just be long winded and I need to get to the point. So anyway, month 1 learning phase, we're going to jump into the number 6, month 2, which is the building phase. This is where we're going to actually build the team. Month 3, this is where we're going to actually start the work. Doesn't mean we haven't started it already, but that's just what's to come. Month 4, this is where we're going to actually optimize and grow based off of our learnings of what we've actually implemented. Okay, and then we got month 5, data analysis and strategy adjustment. Same thing. We're just going to continue learning, growing strategy. We're going to adjust strategy. We're going to pivot, and that's why it's so important to have these in-house teams and us as in that model, is because you can do one campaign and they're going to learn from it, but then they move on to the next agency, and that doesn't make sense. Why not learn with us along the way, and then we're just going to get better. And then it becomes a point where you're printing money and it's almost guaranteed that our videos are just going to work. Month 6, ROI assurance, and future growth. So this is now, okay, we've figured out what works, and we're just going to continually adjust with the algorithms and the growth that they're experiencing, and we're just going to continue growing with them. So anyway, that's kind of an overview really quick of what we're going to go through in all of this. But like I said, first contact pitch, you're going to have access to this PDF, and you click that link. You'll get in, you'll see the chat GPT version of what I have here. And I'm not going to actually go in and read it for you. I think you got a pretty good idea just based on what I've got here. And the reason I did a Tyson version is this is me. I literally sat down and I typed out what I would normally say in a pitch. And I threw it into ChatGPT just to see what would happen. And it does. It makes it more concise, a little more professional. It's something that you can do too if you're like, yeah, I want to add or adjust a little bit here and there based on your business, and then how to match it with kind of our systems. And then we basically break down the pitch, why each paragraph and sentence is in there. And the reason for that is so that you can, like I said, take our pitch and make it your own, but it still lives inside of these principles. So the first thing is opening with curiosity. So it's basically asking a question. Have you ever heard of Tyson Media before? It's an open-ended question that piques interest without assuming familiarity. So the purpose is it subtly engages awareness, setting up the opportunity to deliver context about the company if the lead is familiar. So then we're going to go into number 2, which is defining the unique selling proposition. We are like an in-house team, which is unique. That's very unique. Nobody's doing it like us. And so, and then the purpose is to really draw attention to the in-house. So we've got specific service details. By mentioning organic, social media, paid ads, and photography, the pitch gives specific examples, which adds clarity and makes the offerings feel more tangible. Demonstrating efficiency and scalability. Strategy, the claim about amazing systems that allow us to act fast and efficiently explains why Tyson Media can outperform traditional in-house teams. The 15 businesses, which is actually not 15. I found this typo earlier. And then, so this is fun. You can actually see me fixing this as we go. The 50 businesses and long-term client stats demonstrate scalability and client loyalty. So this is just part of that. Social proof, which is an important thing, highlighting that Tyson Media has retained multiple clients since its inception, establishes trust and reliability. Longevity shows that the company has a track record of satisfying clients. So this is something that is really hard for a lot of filmmakers and agencies to offer. And this is why it's cool to partner with us, is because we've got social proof. We've got the proofs in the pudding. We can basically say, hey, look, for you, for example, you're a partner of Tyson Media and you're promoting your company, but you're partnered with Tyson Media. You're able to say, hey, look, we work with Tyson Media. And the reason for that is because they've got the systems in place that they've built over, this long period of time. And they not only have that, but they also have clients they're actually doing these systems with today. So there's proof that it works. And if you're new to this, those things aren't there because you're building that reputation, right? So use our reputation right now, which is going to help you close clients even quicker. Overcoming objections preemptively. So some of the objections they might have. So probably sounds too good to be true, anticipates skepticism, and gives Tyson Media a chance to address it by suggesting a meeting to explain more. Structured client journey. Mentioning the 6-month program with milestones offers transparency and sets expectations and deliverables on times. Setting expectations for clients is so important, because if you just come at them and say, hey, we're going to do these things and we'll just figure it out as we go, that's hard for a company to buy into long term. They need to see what's going to happen over those 6 months, because we're going to start this journey with them, whether it is a first month learning phase, whether it has that or not. We need to be able to set those expectations that says, hey, by the end of the month, this is what's going to happen. By the end of 2 months, this is what's going to happen. And then they can see, okay, this is worth investing in because we're going to get there, versus like you just saying we're going to figure it out. And then 6 months, if you're good enough and you get 6 months down the road and it just happens to work out, good for you. But they didn't expect that to happen, which is way harder to close people when you don't have expectations and transparency. And Tyson Media is all about expectations and transparency. Like those are just things that are, I think, human nature. People need those things, especially when they're investing money and, and time. Okay, unique value of the team's experience and culture. So emphasizing Tyson Media's unique integrity, efficiency, and incredible people adds a human touch, appealing to those who value strong company culture. And that's a huge thing for Tyson Media is like we're built on integrity, efficiency, and incredible people. Like those are what drive us. And I think a lot of business owners, CEOs, higher ups will understand that because everyone wants that same thing for their company. So we're just going to fit our culture right into a good culture, which could kind of get me off track saying like, hey, we also want to make sure that these clients are people that we want to work with. That's super important. So if they have that culture and they align with us, then we want to work with them. So a lot more information that if you want to, you have this PDF, you can dive into this, read this, learn more about it. But that's the first pitch. Please let me know if you have questions about any of this or you want to change any of it. Like, hey, I suggest doing something like this. Like, I want to hear your feedback. And that's the whole point of this community is I want this to be refined with you guys. So please jump into this, try it. I want you guys to try it. And I want you guys to give me your feedback along the way on the board. Like jump in and say, hey, I tried this pitch and it didn't work. And then I want to find out why, right? And this is where the coaching comes in hand. So you can take all this stuff, all this information and just go out and try it through trial and error. A lot of the stuff I do comes naturally, especially if someone comes up with an objection that, you may not have experienced. I'll be able to navigate that objection better because of my experience in these pitches. You might be jumping into this for the first time and be like basically reading a script, which, isn't very personable, but you got to start somewhere. I will actually come in and help you with this, implementing this pitch. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to, do it with you. And then over time, it's going to become secondhand nature. So that's the whole point of the coaching program. If you want to get into that, we definitely recommend it. It's just going to help, your experience grow quicker and you're going to navigate things and not have you're not going to run into issues as much. Like, let me help you speed up this process by letting me hold your hand. So yeah, jump in, check it out, try it. Please give me your feedback and we'll see you on the next one.